Working at Fracture is undoubtedly one of the greatest educational experiences I will ever have. But I know that the real learning comes when I have the chance to take a step back from the daily chaos that is startup life and have the rare opportunity to reflect upon what Fracture has become and compare and contrast it to what successful organizations, both the past and present, have in common with Fracture. And I want to share with you what I've learned in TEDbits, approximately 1 to 10 ways to fail slightly less than the other guy. So, on to the first TEDbit. Entrepreneurship is, if nothing else, a lifestyle. And we all know that the basis for a sound lifestyle is a proper diet. So I'm talking about two things that one thing you should consume and one thing you should never consume in an entrepreneurial diet. Let's start with the bad news. Guys, you're gonna have to stop drinking Kool-Aid. What I'm talking about is drinking your own Kool-Aid, believing in your own hype. Because the moment you drink Kool-Aid, you let complacency enter into your system. And complacency is the silent killer for entrepreneurship. You should never believe that you are ever done. Don't shoot for success, shoot for progress. Another way to counteract the effects of Kool-Aid is by eating 4 to 6 daily servings of humble pie whenever possible. And I mean eating this much stuff as much as you can. One of my favorite ways to do it is to wash it down with as many historical references and personal anecdotes as I can think of. For example, I'm 23. By my age, my parents were fully licensed and practicing physicians. I just realized I'm the intellectual runt in my own family. I thought the way this was supposed to go is that you advance as generations progress. We've actually gone backwards. Huge dose of humble pie. Alexander the Great had conquered Macedonia by the age of 20 and was on his way to ruling all of Eurasia and heading towards India. Mozart was playing in front of Austrian royalty by the age of 6. And Bobby Fischer was a chess grandmaster at the age of 16. It's apparent that I've got a very long way to go. We all know who this kid is. Everyone has met this kid in middle school. For me, it was little Timmy Jensen in 5th grade. I had grand plans in 5th grade. It was 5 minutes till noon. It's 5 minutes till Tater Tot Friday. I had tater tots to demolish. I had kickball courts to dominate. I had a 3rd grader to terrorize. But little Timmy Jensen always brought it back to the mundane reality of now. He would use every last second of those 300 seconds to ask question after question after question. He assumed nothing. He wanted to know the answers to absolutely everything he could learn about. And I resented Timmy Jensen so much for not letting me go on to my grand plans of kickball court domination. But now, I realize that Timmy Jensen is probably one of the most valuable assets I can have as an entrepreneur, because Timmy Jensen will erase any assumptions and ambiguity, which are cancers for even the most well-laid foundations in a startup. So what I want you guys to do for the Timmy Jensens of your life, I want you to pick up the phone, I want you to apologize for giving him that wedgie, and I want you to have him come and join your startup. This is Billy Mays. Billy Mays is unquestionably one of the greatest salesmen of our generation, having sold over an estimated $1 billion worth of as-seen on TV products, including such memorable winners as OxyClean, Mighty Putty, the Turbo Tiger, and the Big City Slider Burger Station. He also helped OxyClean's parent company, Orange Glow International, get sold for $325 million and let Orange Glow International become one of the fastest growing privately held companies between 1999 and 2001. For 12 years, Billy Mays perfected his craft on the streets of Atlantic City Boardwalk in New Jersey, where he learned one thing and one thing very, very well. If you're going to succeed in business, you have to have integrity and you have to sell your product. There's no better hallmark of a continuously successful company than a company that can consistently sell their product year after year, decade after decade. And Billy Mays did exactly that. Yes, he may have been necessarily caustic or abrasive, and he might need a tranquilizer takedown occasionally, but Billy Mays knew how to sell. And this is what I need you to do if you ever plan to have a consistently successful company. You have to sell to someone other than your mother or your friends. You have to sell it more than once, because it's not the first sale that matters, it's the second sale, it's a repeat sale that matters. And you have to have your next customers come from your first customers. That's how you're gonna have a successful business. What you see behind me is the DC-07 vacuum by James Dyson of the Dyson Vacuum Company. This vacuum was created by Sir James Dyson of Britain after 5,127 prototypes and 5 years of work. Here's the funny thing about failure these days. It's become almost too easy to fail. It's so easy to start your own business that the activation energy needed to start something and stop something is just too quick. It's too short. And what that's left us with is this half-baked idea overload, When anyone considers failure, that final act of desperation where after failure you stop and move on to a completely different idea. No, that's not what we need. We don't need more ideas. We need better execution on the ideas we have. You need to commit to fail. I know it sounds weird, but through failure comes iteration. Through failure comes progress. Through failure comes true success. So you have to commit yourself to failure. Focus. Probably one of the things I struggle with the most. To me, the definition of focus is as follows: the ability to actively and aggressively eliminate all distractions and go towards a single desired outcome. This definition must be implanted into the mind of your company and cultured and cultivated as strictly as possible on a daily basis. The ability to focus on a single outcome will guide your company towards success. I wish I could tell you that I'm as focused as I'd like to be, and I am not, which means that my company will not be as successful as it should be. But the hope is, through numerous lessons I will continue to learn, I will be further able to focus my company on becoming the best it can possibly be. And lastly, this is something I struggle with the most. How do I find the perfect example of teamwork, and how do I describe to you how absolutely critical teamwork is to the success of a company? So I look towards nature as a perfect analog. What you guys see here is the flying V. Yes, the flying V the Mighty Ducks created is possibly one of the best ice hockey junior tactics in the history of Disney. However, the flying V was also one of the main reasons why Canadian geese are able to fly thousands of miles during their migration patterns from the north to the south. I'm sure geese appreciate geometry and symmetry just as much as the rest of us, but that's not why they fly in a V. When geese fly, when they flap their wings, the goose behind them takes advantage of what's called a wingtip vortex, meaning a draft of air that's created by a goose's wing as it flies. It's very similar to what a cyclist experiences when he drafts behind a teammate. And this wingtip vortex that's created in a flying V allows a pack of a gaggle of 25 geese to fly up to 70% further than they would if it was a single goose. So imagine 70% additionally added on to that thousands of miles that they have to go to reach their destination. Now, it's been proven that a single goose can fly 24% faster than a pack of geese, but that single goose is not going to come close to making it. You have to fly in a formation, and you have to be a team. And that incessant honking you hear is actually strategically planned communication between the point goose and his teammates, letting them know that he's getting tired and he needs to fall back and someone needs to take his place. That's what team is all about. You have to find the team that will not hesitate to tell you when you need to fall back and they can do your job better than you. And you have to have enough humble pie in your system to know they're right. The greatest successes at Fracture have been the teammates I have found. And my most enduring failures are the teammates that I have yet to find. I want to leave you guys with this very humorful illustration that I found online. I found it on a blog called Startup Lessons Learned by a gentleman named Eric Ries, who is a proponent of the Lean Startup methodology. And this is actually created by an online persona named Fake Grimlock. I want to draw your attention to a couple of elements. For example, I want to draw your attention to the cat roasting on a spit in the top right. I want to draw your attention to the bug that has been speared by a matchstick by this mouse that I affectionately named Rambo. This mouse, the caption of this illustration goes as follows: vision and determination is like story with mouse and cheese. Someone move cheese, mouse forget cheese, mouse invent machine gun, and mouse eat cat. Be that mouse. Thank you.